Hello, everyone. We are going to start with lesson E of Unit 6, lesson E of Unit 6, which is on page 76, and I'll pull this up here. I will share my screen with you. Here we go. It is on page 78. Unit 6, page 78. This is lesson E. Again, anytime that you need to, you can pause the video and catch up on something or reread or rewind it and listen again. So just keep that in mind. So here we have talking with a partner, which is difficult to do. What 3 events were important in your life? When was each event? Okay, so here you can write, and I don't know if I can write my own, but oh, look at here. I think I can figure it out. Annotate. So 3 important events in my life, I suppose. So I was born in 1973. So we'll just say that. Then I was married in 1995, and then I started teaching. I started teaching in 2013. So I think those are married, teaching, started, I should say, started teaching 2013. Okay, so those are 3 things that were important to me. Go ahead and you can write down in your book 3 things that were important to you, and if you want to take a picture of that and text it to me, that would be great. Or if you have kids at home or a spouse or a friend at home, you could share that with them and have a conversation with them. Or if you want to call somebody and have that conversation, you can. In fact, you have my phone number if you want to call. So there we go. Okay, so now, whoops, can I scroll down? Let's see here. Yes, I can. Okay. So we are going to read about Bo Hai and his company newsletter. Oops, here we go. Look at me. I'm always learning here, always learning. So I'm going to erase that, erase that, erase that. There we go. So let's read together. In fact, I think I need to make this a little bit bigger so I can see it. Okay, Computer Systems Incorporated. The INC stands for Incorporated. So let's read together. A new employee, Bohai Cheng. I was born in 1990 in Beijing. I started university in 2008. I studied civil engineering. In 2011, I moved to Miami. After I moved, I bought a car. I also got engaged. Then I studied computers at a vocational school. I graduated on July 3rd. 3 weeks ago, I found a computer job. In October, I'm going to get married. So first of all, a civil engineer is a field of work where you focus on design and construction of large scale projects, or like, oh, I don't know, okay, so a large project that would benefit a town or a city. So like civil engineering, somebody could work with the city of Austin and they would see the greater good and the greater need for Austin, and they would be able to create plans and kind of, I don't know, see them through, or that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's read it one more time, a little more fluently, without stopping. A new employee, Bohai Cheng. I was born in 1990 in Beijing. I started university in 2008. I studied civil engineering. In 2011, I moved to Miami. After I moved, I bought a car. I also got engaged. Then I studied computers at a vocational school. I graduated on July 3rd. 3 weeks ago, I found a computer job. In October, I'm going to get married. So here we go. We are going to complete his timeline. We've been talking a lot about timelines. So here we go. Number one, he was born in 1990. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Backing up. Remember, I feel like I'm going a little fast today, but so for sure, pause and rewind if I am, because that's not my intention. So let's read these timeline things. Bought a car, found a job, graduated from vocational school, moved to Miami, started university, was born in 1990. So here we go. Number one, was born in 1990 was the first thing here. And it right here, was born in 1990. Okay, if we just read the next line, it says, I started university in 2008. So if we kind of skim through here, look, started university will be number two. So pause your video and write that down. So we're going to go back to number three after here. It says, I studied civil engineering. I don't see civil engineering here. In 2011, I moved to Miami. Let's see here. Oh, look, moved to Miami. So here, moved to Miami. Pause the video and write that down. Now we're on to number four. Let's see here. After I moved, I bought a car. Let's see here. Oh, look, bought a car. Number four, go ahead and pause the video and write that down. Then number five, it says, I also got engaged. Let's see, found a job and graduated from vocational school are the last two that are left. So engaged is not there. Then I studied computers at a vocational school. I graduated on July 3rd. So here he graduated from vocational school before he found a job. So that is number five. And then 3 weeks ago, I found a computer job. So you can pause the video and write those last two down. All right, so let's go through the timeline together. Let's read. Was born in 1990, started university, moved to Miami, bought a car, graduated from vocational school, found a job. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to move on to the next page here. So, whoops, here we go. At the top here, it says write each sentence a different way. So you're switching the order of the sentence, and this is going to bring attention to the use of the comma. So when you start a sentence with a time phrase such as in 2008 or on July 3rd, you use a comma after that. So here the sentence is written, I started college in 2008. So there's no need for a comma. But if we switch the order and say in 2008, I started college, we would need a comma after that. So if you look back on page 78, and if we look in part B at Bohai's story here, And if I kind of skim through for that comma, oh, I can see here that in 2011, comma, I moved to Miami. Okay, well then I'm gonna skim some more. After I moved, comma, I bought a car. I'm gonna skim some more. I'm skimming. I'm kind of looking for that comma. Here we go. 3 weeks ago, comma, I found a computer job. In October, comma, I'm going to get married. So when you use the time phrase first, you have to use a comma afterward. So I'm going to go back to page 79. So here we go. Number 2, let's read this together. In 2011, I moved to Miami. So if you switch this sentence around to get rid of the comma, it would look like this. I moved to Miami in 2011. Okay, so pause the video and write that down. So now we have 2 examples where the sentence, if we look at number 1, the sentence does not, the original sentence does not have a comma, but we changed it. In 2008, comma, I started college. While in number 2, we see it starts with that. In 2011, comma, I moved to Miami. But now we switched it. I moved to Miami in 2011. You're changing the order of the sentence and putting that time phrase in a different spot. If the time phrase is at the beginning of a sentence, you need the comma. If the time phrase is part of the sentence toward the end, you don't need the comma. So let's read number 3. I graduated on July 3rd. How would you rewrite that? Pause and write. Here you go. On July 3rd, comma, I graduated. Well done. Number 4, let's read that together. 3 weeks ago, I found a computer job. How would you change that? How would you switch the order so you don't need the comma after the time phrase? Pause the computer and write, or pause your video and write. Here you go. I found a computer job 3 weeks ago. It's now at the end of the sentence. We don't need the comma. Let's read number 5. In October, I'm going to get married. How would you switch the order so you don't need the comma? Pause the video and write your sentence. Here you go. I'm going to get married in October. Excellent. Okay, so down here, we're going to try something, and it's going to take some creativity on everyone's end. So let me share with you. Let's see if I can share with you. Here we go. This. Here is my timeline. And this, am I there? Sorry about that. And this was an assignment back in Unit 5 on page, or well, it was in a past assignment where we were talking about doing a timeline. But here, here in section E, we get to write the timeline again. So here we go. So I wrote, this was from page 75. If you go back to page 75 in your workbook, or in your book here, page 75, you will see the options of what I used for my timeline. So on page 75. So I wrote down, and again, remember, pause as needed. So you do need to write in your book, get a driver's license in 1989. That's when I did it. Yours will be different. Get married in 1995. Maybe you didn't get married, or maybe you just have close friends, or maybe that doesn't apply to you, you just skip it. Moved to Austin in 1997, have a baby in 1999, have a baby in 2001, get a new job in 2013, buy a car in 2019, teach English class in 2019. So this is my timeline. I'm going to minimize this. You write your own timeline, okay? You write your own timeline. You can use page 75 at the bottom as a reference if you need some help or some ideas of what to write about, what to add to your timeline. Or you can be creative on your own. If you're already thinking, oh, I've got all these things that I know is a great timeline, then you write it in, okay? So pause the video and write in your timeline. Okay, now that you have your timeline done, I would love to see it. So if you can, take a picture and send it to me through Remind or Facebook. You could even do Facebook Messenger if you don't want the whole class to see it. That works fine with me as well. So now what we're going to do is you're going to use your timeline to write a paragraph. So you're going to need a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper so you can pause your video and get those things. And this is what we're going to do. You're going to have, I'm going to minimize. You're going to have your timeline open. And then I had to email what I wrote here. So let me download this. Here we go. So this is what I did with my timeline. I don't know how I can make this. Here we go. This might work. So technology is kind of cool. Whoops, now I lost it. I think I have it down here though. Here we go. Technology is cool. Okay, so here is my letter. And I wrote it to Chris, and if you read it, you're gonna maybe giggle because Chris is my husband, so he definitely knows when we got married and had our children, but it is the best I could do here. So here we go. I highlighted what you would have to change because your timeline is different from my timeline. But I highlighted also the verb changes, so the regular and irregular simple past verbs. So, dear Chris, and this is from a letter that was written back on page 64 in unit 5. Okay, I will write that up here, page 64. So you can pause your video and look back on page 64 as well. Okay. This is what I wrote, and this is how the kind of a template for how you can write yours. Dear Chris, always a comma there. I got my driver's license in 1989. In 1995, there's that comma, I got married. I moved to Austin, Minnesota in 1997. In 1999, there's that comma, I had my first baby, and in 2001, I had my second baby. So I added this for just as a note in part of the letter. Their names are Abby and Toby. In 2013, I started a new job. I bought a car in 2019. Finally, in 2019, I started teaching English classes. Your friend, Renee. So pause your video and use this as a template for your letter, and you fill in how you need yours filled in, but I kind of highlighted what is probably something that you would have to change on your end because we don't have a shared experience. So pause the video and write, and share that somehow. If you can take a picture and text it to me, or if you want to share it on Facebook, that would be great, and I'd love to see your writing. So go ahead and pause and work on that there. Okay, so I'm going to stop this share. And remember, at any point, you can pause the video and rewind and get to what you need. Just know that that's always available for you. That's kind of the beauty of distance learning. I will have the next lesson up and going pretty soon, and I look forward to hearing and seeing, well, more seeing and reading your responses. So take care.